Did you get it, Miguel? If I call you Miguel by mistake, please, you forgive me. Ne? It's Sandra. Yes, I think it's Miguel. Did you understand the traditional system? Yes. Okay, thank you. The market economy, like I said, let me write this. Market economy is the same as the free market economy. You will have to write it somewhere. It's the same as the free market economy. The word free tells you that all the participants in the economy are free to do as they please.
Hello, can I ask?
Yes.
Hello,
Am I still audible?
hello.
Is she the one who can't hear me, or maybe I'm not audible?
She can hear you.
Audible.
Okay. Maybe she will type in the chat box. I was saying under free market, I wrote something in the chat box to say this is also called free market economy. You are free to do as you please. You decide on what you want to produce, how you are going to produce it, for whom are you producing whatever you want to produce, when do you want to produce it, and then do you want to sell it in its raw form or in its processed form, and then where are you going to sell it? So that is free market, and then no one is dictating on how you are supposed to produce and what you are supposed to produce for whom at what prices. And then the government intervenes at a minimal level. So it only intervenes through taxation, it taxes you, and then it intervenes through price controls and price support. It intervenes through the policies such as the affirmative action and equity, whereby they are forcing you to employ people equally, regardless of their skin color, regardless of their sexuality, their gender, their cultural beliefs, or what. So that is how the government is intervening. And then it also intervenes through enforcing the environmental health practice. So you don't have to damage the environment, whereby you will end up putting the lives of people residing around that area where you are producing at risk. Because if maybe you are dealing with the gold refinery, maybe you are smelting, or blah, 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 blah. So you end up releasing toxic gases into the atmosphere. And at the end, those people residing in that area are going to inhale that polluted air. They will end up dying. Or maybe you spill the oil into the rivers, they end up dying. So government intervenes through such policies so that you don't do environmental damage. So that is under the free market economy. Whereas in the mixed economy, it's a mixture of all these economic systems. So at times the government owns the basic resources, such as our country. Our country owns the basic resources. Sometimes it intervenes minimally in the market. Sometimes it tells us what to produce and what not to produce. Sometimes if you go to other communities, particularly those that are marginalized, or those that are still poverty stricken, you will find people still practicing farming the way their forefathers taught them. So that is traditional economic system. So, and it forms part of a mixed economy if the government employs an integration of all those economic systems. Did you get it? I don't know if it's Butitabang or who. Let me check. It says Sharon, did you get that one? The difference between the free market economy and the mixed economy.
No,
You did not.
no, I didn't get it.
Which part should
I
I?
didn't get it. Just please, just repeat the mixed economy.
Did you get the free market economy?
Yeah.
Okay. In the mixed economy, we are mixing all these economic systems. We are employing them at the same time. So I will give you an example with South Africa. South Africa owns basic industries or basic departments or basic resources. We have Eskom. Eskom provides us with electricity, and electricity is a need, a basic need. There are departments that are responsible for water. for the water supply. So it's also owned by government. There is a department which is responsible for enforcing law, the Department of Safety and Security, which is responsible for meeting your security need. And then the Department of Social Development, which is responsible for meeting your social need. Remember, when we talk about your social need, we talk about your need to belong to the society. You must love and you must feel loved. You must be in a relationship. You must have a boyfriend and you must have a girlfriend. That is a need. You must have family members. You must have people whom you are related to. You must go intimate with other people. That is sexual intercourse. So it's a need, and they are met through the social department, the social development department. They also provide grants and so forth. So at times you also have a situation whereby the government says, no, you are not going to produce this at this time. This is supposed to be produced by this and this and this. That is why even when it comes to the issue of selling alcohol, so there are people who should sell alcohol. Not everyone is allowed to sell. That is why they have introduced the issue of licensing. Before you sell, you must have a license. So you are being instructed that this is how you are supposed to follow the guidelines of selling alcohol or maybe selling tobacco or whatever. Sometimes they tell you what to produce. They will say, no, this is not the right time to produce, let's say maybe, or to farm with cassava or whatever crop. So they also tell you at times, and then at times they allow us to to operate freely without being told what to do and what not to do. So in that case, it will be free market. And in a case whereby they command you on what to produce and what not to produce, that will be a command economic system. And then in a case whereby I was giving an example with a community which uses traditional methods of farming, each successive generation follows that method of production, then that will be the traditional system. And then in a situation whereby the government is owning only basic resources and then the rest belong to the society, that will be the what we call socialism or socialite state. So that is the mixed economy. We use both of them at the same time. South Africa is operating under a mixed economic system. Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then we are continuing with this one. I'm not going to discuss everything here. They will teach you, lecturers in class. I'm only going to discuss things that will guide you towards responding to question 2.1. So we are going to answer that question together. So this is chapter number 5. It's elasticity. When we say you have a rubber band, you know a rubber, an elastic rubber. So when we say that rubber is elastic, it means that it can stretch. When it stretch, it responds to the force I'm applying on it. Be it tension, be it a tension or whatever applied force will be on that rubber. So when we talk about elasticity, we refer to the measure of responsiveness or sensitivity. What it means is that we are looking at the responsiveness of the quantity demanded or the quantity supplied towards a change in one of the forces of demand and supply. So we are measuring. If now you should understand this chapter better, ladies and gentlemen, because you'll be owning farms in future. So now we want to know if the price of bread today is increasing by 1 rand, how will the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied react towards that change in price? At what proportion is the quantity gonna change in response to the change in price? I don't know if I make sense. Remember in question 1.1.2b, or let me say A, B, C, and D, we were looking at the effects of the changes in supply. And then we can also look at the effect of the changes in price. So the price has dropped, and then it has influenced the quantity demanded to increase. So we want to know to what, with what quantity is this quantity, with what quantity, how many units will be demanded in the market if the price is now increasing by that much, or if now the price is decreasing. We want to know. So that will be elasticity, and it will also guide you on the pricing strategies you should employ in your business. Should you increase the price? Should you decrease them? Or what should you do if the situation is like that? So we are going to look at the price elasticity of demand, the income elasticity of demand, the cross price elasticity of demand, the price elasticity of supply. So under the price elasticity of supply, we are going to look at the effects of the change in price on the quantity demanded for a particular product. We look at the effects of the change in price of a particular price, of a particular product, I mean to say, towards the quantity demanded of a particular product. And then under the income elasticity of supply, we are checking if now your income changes, how is the demand of certain products going to be affected? So that will be the income elasticity of demand. The cross price elasticity of demand, here we are analyzing the prices of related or unrelated products. If the price of a car, let me just say, if the price of tires increase today, what will be the demand for cars? If the price of petrol increases today, what will be the demand for cars? If the price of maize increases today, what will be the demand for shoes? Are shoes and maize related? And then what will be the response to the, how will the quantity demanded of maize be affected if the price of shoes increase? So that's what we'll be looking at. We are comparing the change in price of a particular product towards the quantity demanded for another product that is related to this other product. So we'll be looking at the complementary product and the substitute products. Now that you are not on chapter number 5, you may not understand this better because you are supposed to understand chapter 3 and chapter 4. So those ones you'll be doing supply and demand in action. That is where many students are struggling. They say that chapter is difficult. But nonetheless, let's leave this. We are still going to calculate using this formula. And that's where many students are struggling here. So I hope when we come here, you won't struggle. So I want us to look at this only, then we respond to the question. So these are the categories. You are going to use these categories to respond to that question. Perfectly inelastic demand. Remember, when we said something is elastic, we said it responds to the change in something. So elasticity is the measure of responsiveness or sensitivity. How sensitive is the quantity demanded of this product towards the change, the change in its price? So if after doing your calculations, your elasticity, your price elasticity is exactly 0, it means that we are saying it's perfectly inelastic demand. So you are going to explain what you mean by that. What do you mean when you say it's perfectly inelastic? It means that the quantity does not respond to the price change. If the price increases today, we will still buy that product. For example, if the price of electricity increases today, we are still going to buy electricity. So that's what they refer to when they're saying this is perfectly inelastic demand. It means that the quantity demanded for a particular product does not change when price changes. And then the effect on the revenue when price changes, and then this will guide you on the price strategy. So here, if the total revenue changes with P in the same direction, There is thus an incentive for suppliers to raise their prices. So they gave you the EPs there on question 2.1, if you can check clearly. Those values that that are there on the question paper, I don't know, was it 1.0, 1.2, or 1.4, 0.6, or 0.4? I forgot them, but you know them. I hope you have the question paper with you. All those values are here. You will check the categories they are falling under, and then you explain. You use this meaning here to explain, and then you look at the effect on total revenue and you decide on the strategy. So we are going to look at each value, and then we categorize it, and then we explain, and then we look at the effect, and then decide on the pricing strategy. So they are saying if the value that is given from those three that are given there on the question paper is equal to 0, then you are going to say the elasticity for this product, the category for this product is perfectly in elastic demand. You explain what do you mean this, and then you explain further. You don't just copy as it is, and then you explain the effect on the revenue, and you decide on the pricing strategy they are supposed to employ. And here, when we say total revenue is the income. Total income changes with price in the same direction, meaning that if you want to increase your total income or your total revenue, because your total revenue and your price are in the are in the same direction. If you want to increase your revenue, you must also increase your price. Because if your price increases, total revenue also increases. They are moving in the same direction. That is what they imply there. So at this point, your pricing strategy would be to increase the prices, because the increase in price leads to the increase in total revenue. So they are directly proportional under perfectly inelastic demand. So under inelastic demand, this is where your value will be between 0 and 1. So it might be 0.4, 0.8, 0.9, as long as it's between 0 and 1. But 0 is not included and 1 is also not included, because there are no equal sign here. It's not less or equals to, less or equals to. So they are just saying less than. The reason they did not include 0 here is because 0 is included in the perfectly inelastic. The reason they are not including 1 here is because 1 is included in the unitary elastic. And to remember this better, you can draw this. You draw your scale. You will have what? You will have your 0 here. You will have your 1 here. You will have your positive infinity here. So at this point, at 0, you have what we call perfectly inelastic demand. And then between 0 and 1, in this area here, between 0 and 1, whatever value you find here, you have inelastic demand. Inelastic demand. At exactly this point here, you get unitary elastic demand. And then between 1 and positive infinity, which is this part here, between 1, this one, and this positive infinity, which now gives you this area, you have an inelastic demand, which is the opposite of this one. This is the opposite of this one. So this one is in the middle. So it divides them into 2 equal halves. And then if your EP is exactly infinity and no one knows infinity, then it means it is perfectly elastic demand, which is the opposite of what? Of perfectly inelastic demand. So this one is the opposite of this one. So you must know this scale. It will help you to interpret your findings. Did I see something in the chat box? No. Okay, I hope you are with me. And then when we say it is inelastic demand, it means that, let me not confuse you here, because we are still supposed to calculate what do you mean when we say the percentage change in Q is smaller than percentage change in P. What do we mean? You will see that after we have calculated. But on that question, we are not going to calculate. So let's go back to the question paper so that you can give me the category and then you give me the meaning, and then we decide on the pricing strategy. So did you write those categories down?
Yes.
Okay. Suppose you are the producer of spinach, carrots, and beetroots, and you are in a position to decide at which price you will offer these products for sale. What will be your pricing strategy for each of these products in order to increase the total revenue? In order to increase your what? Your total income. In order to increase the farm in your income. In your analysis, you found that the price elasticity of demand for spinach is 0.4. This value has been calculated, and don't think you will run away from this. You are going to calculate it using those formulas that I gave you. And this is where many students are struggling, like I've said, they even struggle to interpret. So it's 0.4, write it down. You will write spinach 0.4. I'm not going to write this down. You will just say spinach equals 0.4 because I will need those values. And then secondly, carrots is 1.0, which is the same as 1. Make sure you are writing. I'm not going to write. And lastly, for beetroot, it's 1.2. You write 1.2 for beetroot. Explain your decision in each case. 10 marks. So I would advise you here to start by defining what elasticity is. Define what elasticity of demand, the price elasticity of demand is. So the price elasticity of demand refers to the percentage change in price of a particular, the percentage change in the quantity demanded for a particular product towards a change in the price of that particular product. We are left with 10 minutes. I'm repeating the definition of the price elasticity of demand. The price elasticity of demand, I said you start by defining it. This 10 marks, 1 mark might be going to the definition, and then the 3 marks will be allocated to each of this, explaining the pricing strategy of these, the meaning, and then the implication on the revenue. So you explain the category and then the meaning and also the pricing strategy. So the pricing strategy will be guided by the effects on the total revenue. So we are going to do exactly that. So I was defining the price elasticity of demand. It is the responsiveness, or let me say it is the percentage change in the quantity demanded, or yes, in the quantity demanded of a particular product towards a change in the price of a particular product. So as a producer, you need to understand the percentage change in the quantity demanded towards a change in the price. If now the price has changed by 100%, what is the percentage change in the quantity demanded for that particular product? Does the quantity demanded change in 100 with 100% as well? If it changes with 100%, is it changing positively or negatively? If it's positively, it means if the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases. If the price decreases, the quantity demanded increases. But if it's opposite, it means they are in the opposite direction. If it's positive, they are in the same direction. It means that if the price increases, the quantity demanded also increase. So you need to understand that. Let me open those slides again so that you can see the definition. You will get the definition of the price elasticity of demand. I don't know if you find it here. Yes, this is the definition of the price elasticity of demand. The percentage change in the quantity demanded. If you will say of a particular product, if the price of the product, if the price of that particular product changes by 1%, ceteris paribus. This condition is very important. Or you can define it using this definition. You can use this definition. It's similar to this one. You need to understand what they mean here so that when you respond to or when you interpret elasticities, you respond in line with the definition here. But I won't blame you for now. You may not understand because we did not do chapter 3 and chapter 4. You need to understand them better first before you can understand these ones here. Make sure you attend your classes. When they teach in class, make sure you attend, more especially when it comes to chapter 3 and 4. There you need to understand because you cannot understand the other coming chapters if you don't understand those two. So where are we? Let's go back to the question paper. I want you to sleep. So we start with spinach. So you will tell me it's 0.4. It's spinach. Let's go back to the categories. Under which category does it fall?
Inelastic demand.
Elastic.
Inelastic demand, right? So you are right. The demand for beetroot, is it beetroot? Spinach. It's spinach, I guess. So the demand for spinach is inelastic because the value of EP is between 0 and 1, exclusive. What it means is that the percentage change in the quantity demanded for spinach is smaller than the percentage change in the price of that spinach. So what they are trying to say is that,
Pardon?
okay,
Pardon?
what you will say, the demand for spinach is inelastic because EP lies between 0 and 1, both inclusive. I mean to say exclusive, both exclusive. They are excluded. 0 and 1 are excluded. So please make sure you paraphrase because I know you are going to write the same answer and they will mark you wrong. So what it implies is that, happy you are writing now, what it implies is that the percentage change in the quantity demanded for spinach is smaller than the percentage change in the price of spinach. What it means is that if the price of spinach increases by 1 rand, or let me say, if the price of spinach changes by 1 rand, the quantity demanded for that spinach will increase with a factor of 0.4, which in this case is lower than that 1 rand or 1% of the change in price. Or you can say, if the price of spinach changes by 1%, the quantity demanded for that spinach will change by 0.4%, which is lower than that 1%. So it's what the inelastic demand implies here. And then what is the effect on the total revenue? You are explaining, you need those 10 marks. You will say, therefore, the total revenue, you won't write TR, the total revenue changes in the same direction as the change in price, or the total revenue is directly proportional to the change in price, meaning that if the price increases, the total revenue will also increase. If the price drops, the quantity demanded will also drop. Therefore, as a farmer, what is it that you are supposed to do? What do you think you are supposed to do in order to maximize your revenue?
I think we must, the farmer must increase the prices, since
Good.
when he increases the price, the number of the quantity demanded decrease at a lower rate.
Yes, that is true, but you made a mistake there. So we are saying, now we are looking at the price, the effect of the price on the what? On the revenue. Because look at the title of this column here, the last column. They are saying effect on total revenue when price changes. So you will say, so because total revenue and price change in the same direction, meaning that they are directly proportional. If the other one increases, the other one will also increase. If the other one decreases, the other one will also decrease, because they follow each other. They are in the same direction. Therefore, it is important for the supplier of spinach to increase or to raise the prices in order to maximize the total revenue of his farm. Do you guys understand?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We are left with less than 1 minute. So once it kicks you out, you'll come back for the last time. I don't think it will take us more than 30 minutes to discuss the last question. So like I said, last week, I was with less than 30 students, less than 40 students, I mean to say. We slept at 3, so you will get used to sleeping at 3 as well. When we work, we work. So let's look at the second one. The second one is, which product comes after spinach? Is carrots, right? So it's 1.0. What is the category? You'll be given 3 minutes to bring the session back.
Unitary elastic.
It's unitary elastic. Okay, let me wait. Do you have questions? We are left with less than a minute, so I will explain this when we come back. Any questions? Okay, it means you got